Hello and welcome our blood viewers to RTG's News English edition. As usual, we bring to you the major and top highlights of tonight. The Solidarity Caravan officially kicked off in the town of Al Hidada Obakh region. Extraordinary Congress of the Social Democratic People's Party at the People's Palace, PSD Congress. And on international scene, Khartoum Airport welcomes the first Sudan Airways plane after the war. Those were our major top highlights. Welcome back to our newsroom, our beloved viewers. The President of the National Assembly, Mr. Delita Mohamed Delita, received on Monday at the parliamentary headquarters French Senator Sophie Burnett, who represents French nationals living abroad. She was accompanied by the French ambassador to Djibouti, Mr. Jerome Brisson, in a courtesy visit. The first Djibouti speaker, Mrs. Safia Elmi, the chair of the Djibouti-France Parliamentary Friendship Group, and the National Assembly Secretary General also took part in the meeting. Discussions focused on bilateral relations between the Republic of Djibouti and the French Republic and addressed several legislative matters of shared interest. The senator expressed particular interest in plans to establish a possible Senate in Djibouti, asking about the legal and constitutional biases for such an initiative. The president of the National Assembly said that the creation of a Senate is provided for in the Constitution but is not currently a priority. On the institutional agenda, the talks also explored cooperation between parliamentary friendship groups as a tool of parliamentary diplomacy to bring the legislators of the two countries closer. The French ambassador underlined the importance of academic and university cooperation and encouraged more Djiboutian students to pursue studies in France. The meeting concluded with technical exchanges on legislative procedures, the work of parliament committees, and the organization of parliamentary sittings and methods for studying and adopting draft laws. The visit included a guided tour of the Assembly's main hall and community meeting rooms to acquaint the French delegation in the internal legislative procedures. The official Solidarity Caravan departed yesterday, Sunday, 1st February 2026, for the Al Hidada area in Obakh region, marking a new phase of direct outreach to residents of remote areas. Organized annually by the Ministry of Social Affairs and Solidarity and officially inaugurated by the President on 29th of January 2026, the caravan's arrival was met with a warm reception. The Minister of Social Affairs and Solidarity, Mrs. Ulufa Ismail Abdo, and her delegation were greeted by an honor guard from the National Armed Forces. Health Center and integrated a new water fountain to expand the reservoir supplying portable water to the village. This first phase of the caravan monitors social empowerment activities, including solidarity funds and the launch of 3 new social facilities intended to directly improve residents' living conditions. A newly completed road requested by residents 2 years earlier now reduces travel time from 5 hours to 2.5, improving access to basic social services and infrastructure. During this initial stage, the minister will hold meetings with local communities to record their observation and requests. The initiative reaffirms the state's commitment to bringing social services closer to citizens and to strengthening national and regional equity, particularly in inland areas. The Minister of Social Affairs and Solidarity, Madam Mulufa Ismail Abdo, launched the National Solidarity Tour on Sunday, 1st February. The first field step took place in the Al-Alidada sub-district of Ubukh. The minister and her team, accompanied by regional authorities, met residents at the community center built by the Djiboutian Agency for Social Development. The facility served as a venue for dialogue and problem solving and was presented as more than a structure, a practical space for social rapprochement and direct communication. The tour aims to translate solidarity from concept into concrete action through open, transparent dialogue with inhabitants, giving local leaders and women's representatives the opportunity to present their daily needs and priorities. The minister provided direct answers to the questions raised and stated that the tour is not merely ceremonial but a fact-finding mission to recalibrate social policy and accelerate local projects. She pledged to bolster social safety net programs in the region and to ensure that no citizen is excluded from state attention. During meetings with the residents and neighboring areas, community leaders raised concrete grievances and requests. The village chief thanked the minister and delegation and noted the minister's achievements in the area while stressing outstanding needs. He said the food supplies distributed were insufficient and asked for a prompt response. He emphasized that as a large rural area, the village requires a school providing education, feeding, the brooding for children, and called for a sub-district administrative office so officials can perform their duties fully. Other interventions highlighted operational problems. Representatives from the two noted that the newly built school faces a severe water shortage affecting students. Women attendees praised the Community Solidarity Fund for supporting pregnant women and the sick, saying that the fund has demonstrable community benefits. Residents concluded by requesting the establishment of a Quranic school to serve local children. For her part, the minister, Madam Mulufa Ismail Abdo, expressed her great pleasure at meeting the local population, receiving a warm welcome from village elders and leaders. She said that the return visit was deliberate. The first visit had identified gaps in basic social infrastructure, and she expressed pride that the government had been able to respond at least in part to those demands. The community center that hosted the meetings, powered by solar energy, was built by ADDS in direct response to residents' requests. The minister underscored that these achievements stem from presidential directives and funding from the National Solidarity Fund. She noted that the separate sanitary facilities for men and women had been constructed in response to women's demands and clarified that water availability was not the issue as much as the network connection. The school, health center, and military camp have now been connected to the water network to ensure continued supply. She also described the assumption of savings and loan funds aimed at women's economic empowerment, stressing that social assistance is important but enabling communities to support themselves in paramount. The minister praised success in agricultural initiatives and confirmed the creation and effectiveness of a community solidarity fund. The delegation attended a supplicatory prayer session conducted by the village chief.
أولي معي دفينا معي دفينا معي دفينا تكاي كايري دفينا تكاي اللي حبوته معي بلهتني يلي نكواسي باتريتني يلي نكلاي منكرهتني يلي نكلاي حيلهتني يلي نكلاي يا رب العالمين أولنك يا معي آكلنك يا معي نامو نقب نامو ما تويتاي سره تني يلي يا داري كايره تني يلي دا يوشاي ننو كايري مرنا كاي نبوبتي كاي ربوبتي تكاي معبوبتي تكاي جي نبوبتي تكاي معاني هبوبتي تكاي حكبوبتي تكاي دول مبوبتي تكاي يا رب العالمين من استراها يلي عافيتي حال مش يروح تتبيعي يروح ترحي فرد رمى الحويتاي تم من استرتكاي ضد من استرتكاي تايش من استرتكاي يسيش من استرتكاي عافيتي تي حال بريدانها يلي عافيتي حال كاي مدام هي حال كا يهتني مه حال عبده يا حال كا كتايتي مه حال كا هي حال عمري كاك يا داري عافيتك هي حال اللي حبك تمعك طلت معبي اللي كابي ناس ربي اللي كابي كاي ربي اللي كابي يا رب العالمين يلي نكحني واي داعو نكحني واي قبل كرقشواي يربوا كورا عنا حيلا ننكو يربوا نجيب ننمو بشين تايسن هب يسمرنكاي يسمرنكاي أولنك يا معي يا رب العالمين أولا كر حتى إنك كلا حرهن بريدان قول لي كيمكم بركتني ويسر كدير لها كاك السلام عليكم يا نهبتم كاي برهنا يتاي نهر سي منستري ويش أول يا معاي كل يا معاي دفينة معاي سيتر التحضر هاي ملايكة التحضر هاي اللي حبوتها معاي أول يا معاي كل يا معاي السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
The president of Obokh Regional Council, Mr. Mohammed Hamad Ismail, described the Solidarity Week initiative as an important opportunity to strengthen social cohesion and bring essential services closer to remote populations. He said the initiative allows authorities to engage directly with citizens, hear their needs, and monitor development projects effectively. The launch of activities and surrounding Obokh areas, he added, reflects the government's commitment to improving living standards and projects after Solidarity Week to ensure services reach communities sustainably with the ultimate aim of building resilient, self-managing communities. The Minister, Madam Lufa Ismail Abdo, inaugurated a strategic stockpile in Obokh this morning. The opening makes a decisive step in decentralizing social assistance policy by storing food and essential supplies directly in Obokh to ensure faster emergency response and reduce distribution delays caused by distance from the capital. The facility seeks to achieve three objectives: rapid intervention, regional autonomy, and reduce logistical costs, thereby strengthening local food security. The project falls within the government's Vision 2035 to reduce regional disparities and promote balanced national development. During the ceremony, the minister also inaugurated the Regional Administrative Office for the Ministry of Social Affairs and Solidarity to bring administrative services closer to citizens. As part of Solidarity Week activities, the new headquarters of the Central Office and the Djiboutian Agency for Social Development were inaugurated in Obokh. These new facilities are intended to simplify citizen access to services, provide comfortable waiting areas, and improve accessibility for persons with disabilities. The integrated offices are designed to strengthen coordination between ADDS and social services, supported by modern information systems to track each family situation in real time and prevent any household from being overlooked by social protection programs. Centralizing agency resources will strengthen poverty reduction efforts and create a hub for the community projects and microfinance, contributing to the economic inclusion of the most vulnerable. The opening signals the end of an administrative hardship phase and an investment in human capital with citizens' dignity placed at the center of national development strategy. The Social Democratic Popular Party held an extraordinary congress today at the People's Palace, which became a focal point of a national political life. The event drew hundreds of party members and supporters from across the country, turning a hall into a vibrant space for exchange, dialogue, and collective resolve. Festive cultural performances and entertainment highlighted the party's vitality and local connections. Party leader Mrs. Hasna Mumin Bahdan received enthusiastic applause upon entering, reflecting members' confidence and pride in her leadership. The Congress included all party leadership bodies, underscoring shared governance and organizational transparency. At the extraordinary Congress, party members unanimously renewed their confidence in Mrs. Hasna Mumin Bahdan, re-electing her as PSD president. In her remarks after the vote, the re-elected president expressed gratitude for the trust placed in her and reaffirmed her commitment to strengthen and develop the party. The Congress signals a phase of continuity, cohesion, and unity around the party's leadership.
Félicitations, Madame la Présidente.
Representatives of UPR and FRUIT addressed the PSD Congress, praising unity and calling for a broad dialogue across political sectors and actors. FRUIT reaffirmed its support for the RPP Popular Rally for Progress and the presidential ticket, highlighting the coalition urgence under President Ismail Omar Guelleh's leadership and expressing readiness to mobilize for the upcoming April presidential elections. The remarks emphasized national unity, peace, and the need for inclusive political cooperation. Delegations from the RPP and the National Democratic Party (PND) delivered addresses endorsing the coalition's vision and expressing political support for the presidential elections. The speeches addressed programmatic cooperation and national development priorities. In her address, PSD President Hasna Moumin Bahdon renewed her commitment to strengthening the party and reiterated unwavering support for President Ismail Omar Guelleh, praising his leadership and development agenda. She called on party members to intensify field work, promote democratic participation, and develop innovative strategies to tackle national and regional challenges. The President emphasized service delivery priorities, improving community services, and expanding opportunities for youth and women to align political engagement with citizens' needs. Post-conference impressions from participants reflected enthusiasm for party's unity and the organizational quality of the event. Delegates highlighted the balance between serious political content and popular mobilization, seeing the Congress as a sign of the party's vitality and readiness for the upcoming political work. The Minister of National Education and Vocational Training, Mr. Mustafa Mohammed Mahmoud, today patronized the official launch ceremony of the National Consultation on Secondary Education Reform held at the Djibouti High School. The event took place in the presence of the Secretary General of MENFOP, Directors General, National Education Inspectors, pedagogical advisors, teachers, students, and parents. After opening remarks by the Secretary General, the Minister took time to outline the framework and underline the importance of these consultations, which aim to give a voice to stakeholders on the ground, including teachers, school principals, students, and their parents. The consultations, he said, provide an opportunity to share experiences, expectations, and proposals that will constitute essential contributions to building a secondary education system that is more relevant, more equitable, and more open to practical skills, digital learning, guidance, and professional integration while preserving academic excellence. The Minister also recalled that the reform of secondary education is intended to enable students to pursue educational pathways aligned with their ambitions and career plans through a diversified and inclusive academic and vocational training system that is better connected to the country's economic and social realities. Following this introduction, students, parents, and teachers shared their experiences and expectations extensively. The discussions were rich and provided officials with a broad perspective on a range of issues related to circular, guidance systems, and decision-making. At the conclusion of the plenary exchange, stakeholders participating in the consultation broke into smaller working groups to continue discussions through focus groups, which addressed the issues in a structured and methodological manner. On the reform of general secondary education was carried out across all high schools in the country. During this exchange and consultation sessions, field stakeholders including teachers, students, and their parents, as well as school principals, pedagogical advisors, and inspectors met within focus groups. As part of this national consultation, which is taking place today and tomorrow, the thematic working groups are tasked with collecting information on the perceptions, experiences, and assessments of field actors regarding the current functioning of secondary school. They also are expected to identify strengthening and the strengths and weaknesses, as well as structural, pedagogical, and organizational shortcomings, and to define the priorities of the general secondary education reform. The process will also contribute to a participatory, territory differentialized diagnostic in the formation of concrete, operational, and measurable recommendations. These consultation activities are guided by a questionnaire designed to gather overall assessments of secondary education in terms of relevance and quality, along with its strengths and weaknesses. The tool also seek to identify the achievements of previous reforms that must be preserved, as well as the pedagogical, organizational, socio-economic, human, and material challenges faced by stakeholders on the ground. In addition, the national consultation aims to identify obstacles to students' success and the factors affecting equality of opportunity among high school students. The questionnaire was specifically designed to address the different categories of field actors, collecting their experiences, assessments, concerns, and grievances, as well as the most relevant recommendations. After thematic sorting and consideration, these recommendations will support decision makers and the aspiration of high school students. Under the patronage of the Ministry of Islamic Affairs and Endowments, Mr. Mumin Hassan Bari, the Minister honored winners of the National Quran Memorization Contest. The ceremony was attended by the Director of Islamic Affairs, Mr. Ismail Hassan Roble, the Director General of the Institute for Modernization and Culture of Peace, Mr. Sulli Ahmed Abdullah, and the Director of the Endowments Office, Mosque Sheikh, Imams, and the judging panel. The Ministry emphasized transparent selection, procedures to identify the best male and female memorizers. National Quran memorization competitions are regarded as significant religious and educational initiatives that reinforce Islamic identity and ethical values among youth, encourage memorization and reflection on the text, discover and develop Quranic talent, and prepare a generation grounded in modernization and civic values. Organizers said such events reflect a state interest in supporting the Quran and religious education as part of the broader ministry vision to strengthen the mosque's role and education and social cohesion. The Minister, Mr. Mumin Hassan Bari, noted that the ministry organizers the Quran memorization context annually and described it as an honorable effort whose benefits extend to those who carry this spiritual light. The Djibouti Chamber of Commerce officially integrated sectoral associations for construction and public works this morning, a significant step towards structuring the strategic sector and enhancing professional standards to support national development. The ceremony brought together the Minister of City, Urban Planning and Housing, Mrs. Amina Abdi, the Deputy Secretary in charge of Investment and Private Sector Development, Mrs. Safia Muhammad Ali Gadile, and the Chamber of the Commerce President, Mr. Yusuf Musa Dawale, alongside senior officials from relevant ministries and professionals from the construction sector. The event facilitated consultations between public authorities, support institutions, and economic operations aimed at reorganizing the sector around 4 sub-sectors and progressively creating professional associations to represent each segment. The initiative seeks to improve governance, coordination, good professional practices, and the capacity of local firms, reflecting governance support for private sector development, investment attraction, and quality sustainable construction. The Ministry of Investment has indicated that establishing these associations represents a pivotal step in modernizing the country's entrepreneurial landscape. For her part, the Ministry of Housing underlined the role of the new sectoral organization in improving planning oversight and service quality within urban development and housing sectors. Shifting gears towards the international scene now, in Khartoum International Airport received yesterday the first flight of the national airline Sudan Airways, Sudan Air, since the outbreak of war, a key step in efforts to gradually restore air transport in Sudan. The landing followed a lengthy suspension of service due to security deterioration that had nearly held civil aviation activities in the capital. Operations were conducted under strict technical and security procedures involving competent authorities to verify the runway and basic accordance with safety standards. Well, by this, our blood viewers, we finally conclude this edition. Thank you for being with us, and make sure to tune in later for more as usual. Have a wonderful evening and take care.